Yeah, hi everybody. Ryan back with you here again. It's May 28th out here in Montpelier, Idaho. Little truck stop right outside of town. Pretty nice and quiet. Other than seems to be an extremely frustrated gentleman having a conversation on his phone up and down the fuel aisle up here. So I don't know what the deal is with that. But like I said, sorry for the hiatus. I got back on the road Tuesday. Like I left about 1 o'clock in the morning with this load. I picked this up on the way back from Michigan last week. So yeah, I was on days for 2 weeks and was home and got a couple hours of sleep before I had to go back on the road. So yeah, so I wanted to get a video out quicker with updates and all that, but just been a pretty tough schedule with this run. I'm going to be down in 7 days. I'm going to be like at probably about 68, 69 hours. So I'm just barely going to make it back over to Virginia with this load. I'm getting out of Idaho going back, but I'll get into that here in a little bit. But other than that, things kind of picking back up. I got two pretty good loads. But before I get into that, I kind of wanted to show everybody the scenery out here. It's nice and green and still got a little bit of snow up on the mountaintops here. So take a look outside. So, yeah, pretty nice day, not too hot. I actually came across 90 because this load had a stop over in Ingleside, kind of northwest suburbs of Chicago. So I had that stop up there. Then I ended up coming up across 90, and then I kind of at Rapid City, South Dakota there, I cut down what is that, Route 79, and came across US 18. Then I pretty much took state routes and US routes all the way across Wyoming. So it was a pretty nice drive. I came across all night. And actually, I didn't pass in like 600 miles of 2-lane roads. I passed a UPS truck. I think I had to come around. He was running like 55 mile an hour on the grades and whatnot. But other than that, it was a pretty peaceful drive out here. And got out here about 5:30. Got a couple hours of sleep, and said I'm gonna go down to Twin Falls tonight and the customer so I can park on site. So it should work out pretty well, and then run over to Boise after I drop that off in the morning, and grab that other load going back to Virginia. But, yeah, pretty nice country. It's usually a little drier than this out here. Yeah, still got a little bit of snow up on the hills there. But then we'll get back in the truck here, and I got a little whiteboard I was going to go over with what we got going on this week and next week. And I think it'd be pretty good 7 days. But we'll go ahead and get into that. And also, I forgot to mention, I think we got my phone figured out now, to where everything's not backwards. So everybody that's had to bear with us. We said there was a setting in my phone where you could change it back to where it flipped them, the videos and the pictures. So hopefully that's taken care of. And also I got some new software on my laptop to where I can actually do like a screenshot video, and we'll have the settlement statements at the end of this video that are using that software. So it's a lot cleaner and a lot clearer than using my phone to try to record off the laptop. So I hope you all enjoy that. And we're always trying to improve. So anybody out there got any tips or anything like that, we're always take them on board. But like I said, with that, I'll go ahead and get into my little whiteboard here and kind of show you what we got going on the last couple days and for next week. So okay, so here's basically what we're working on right now. I had got this Ohio to Idaho. I picked that up on my way back from Michigan. I got home Friday morning last week, and I was home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and I got up and left at 1 a.m. Tuesday the 26th. So I could have picked this up on my way out of town if I wanted to, but I figured I was coming back down that way, and I wanted to avoid the Ohio Turnpike and not pay tolls, so I wanted to come across US 30 anyways. So I picked this up out in Upper Sandusky real early Friday morning. But the load drops off tomorrow, the 29th. I've already made contact with the customer there. I'm going to go up there tonight and stay on their site overnight, and they'll unload me when they get in, so I can get another 10-hour break in over there before I got to start up and run over to Boise. It's 10,000 pounds. 1,900 miles total. We had a stop off over in Ingleside, Illinois, which I said earlier, up by Chicago. So the total to the truck was $32.63.50. That was, you know, after Landstar's cut, which came out at $1.72 a mile, which is not too bad right now. And I got another video I'm working on. I'm sorry I haven't got it out yet. I know I've been talking about it. I did the one on the Qualcomm and kind of went over the recaps a little bit. But one of the things I really want to hit on, you know, we talk about rate per mile a lot, but I like to look at a daily rate, you know, what I'm making per day and try to maximize that, because like I said, all of our bills are not in rate per mile. They're in, you know, time-based, calendar-based. So yeah, I could go get $5 a mile loads that are 150 miles where you're going to make $200 a day. But you know, that don't pay the bills. I mean, yeah, you can, there's higher rates. I know there's guys pitching high rates out there getting $3.75, $4, but they're not 2,000 mile trips. They're a couple hundred, if that. So, and then you've got 2 days basically in a trip that, yeah, it's a high rate, but you might be getting $700, so you're making $300-$400 a day. But so I broke this down here. So basically what I'm going to have is 3.5 days on this. So so from the 26th to 29th, delivering first thing in the morning, with that revenue, that puts me at $932 per day at 3.5 days. And like I said, that is that's after, or, sorry, gross to the truck. That doesn't include any expenses on that. Right now on this trip, I did a $700 fuel advance. I haven't used all that yet, and basically finishing up this load and getting over to Boise to pick up the other load, I'm going to have about 33 hours invested in this off of my 70-hour. So that's that load, not too bad. Okay, so I've got an Idaho to Manassas, Virginia, Boise, Idaho to Manassas, Virginia. Picks up tomorrow as well, and that's kind of why I did the half day on these, because you know I'm dropping one load and picking up another load the same day, so that's why I went with a half day, because it wouldn't really be fair to do, you know, add an extra day into all this when it's not really that way. So I'm picking that up on the 29th tomorrow. Supposed to deliver on the 2nd. I'm going to be extremely tight on my 70. I kind of screwed up because I with the holiday, I thought I was going to be leaving Monday, which would have put me at getting time back on the night of the 1st, so I would have had like some more time back on the 2nd, but that's not the case. So I guess I have to make an appointment, delivery appointment, so I'm going to try to push it to the 3rd if I can, just to give me a little bit more breathing room. But I think I can make it, but I'm going to have to average about 70 mile an hour, 68, 70 mile an hour, get me there. And I think running out here with the higher speed limits, I can achieve that. But this load is 25,000 pounds, 2,339 miles, and basically looking at 35.79.13 to the truck. So that puts me at $1.53 a mile, which coming out of Idaho is not too bad. And especially not sitting over the weekend. That was my main concern, was I didn't want to have to sit there till Monday, and because you know that's 2.5 days basically lost if I'm delivering this other load Friday morning. So I wanted to avoid that, and usually I don't see that higher rates coming out of Idaho for van. But so like I said, we're 35.79.13 to the truck. 4.5 days, what I'm figuring. That may go to about 5 days, depending on if I can push this delivery date. So that would put me roughly just under $800 a day on this one. So if I can do all this, which I'm going to be pretty close, for 8 days, that would put me just under $7,000 at about $68.42 is where we'd be at for this 8-day trip. And then I'm only 6-7 hours away from home. So if I can find something short, I will. I don't know how that area, I don't run down to Virginia a lot, so I don't really know that area too well. I try to stay away from the East Coast and down in those mountains and all that, and toll roads. But so with that 8 days and this rate, this 68.42, that basically puts me at $855 a day for the 8 days that I'm out. And that's, like I said, not too bad, I don't think. Of course, that's not including my expenses. We'll go, like, once I complete these loads and we do a settlement update here in a few weeks on these loads, and we'll take out all the expenses and all that and see where we're at. But I got the settlements at the end of this video for the last 3 weeks. As you all know, I took about 10 days. I took a week off at the beginning of May, pretty much the 1st, I believe, up to the 7th. Then I had a load cancel that was coming out of Kentucky that was going out to California, and I already had a short load that was coming out of Cleveland that went down to Sabina, Ohio, down closest, not too far from Cincinnati. Um, then I did that I went home for 3 days after that. So that put me about 10, 11 days home. And then I got this ice cream cone load that I had. I was out for a while for five. I had 4 or 5 days in that, and then I had that 13 stop cabinet load. Then I came back home um, for the holiday there, so I was home for 3.5, 4 days. So I've only for the month of May, I've only worked about 16, 17 days, and so my revenue already for the month is almost 4,400, which you'll see in the settlement statements at the end of this is where this number comes from here. So with this revenue and this revenue, that puts me over $11,000, and that's basically, like I said, for about half a month. I mean, the time you figure in the days I've had off, I've had 14, 15 days off. So that's only going to be working about 16 days or so for that revenue. So I mean, if I was working a whole month, I mean, this probably could have been close to a $17,000, $18,000 gross revenue month. So not too bad considering the circumstances. So yeah, I haven't heard anything about this load cancel or anything yet. So I'm pretty confident about it. It's a direct customer. Both these were direct customer loads. Those always pay a little bit more, and they're usually a little bit more dependable in most cases. But I'm figuring on this load here, I'm going to be about 35 hours. So with the 33 on this one, 35 on this, and I'm going to be right about 68 is what I'm looking for getting over there. So it's going to be extremely close with making it over. So we'll see how that works out, and I will be sure to update y'all. But that's where we're at on this. I did the settlement videos on the new software on the computer, so those will be right here after this, and I'll leave y'all with that. And like I said, I hope y'all enjoy the videos and helps you out. And if you have any comments, please leave them. Any questions, leave those. Our email is on the about page if you have any specific personal stuff you want to ask. I mean, I don't mind calling people if you got any questions or anything as well. So that's if you need help, I don't mind that. And like I said, I hope y'all liked the video and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks. Okay, guys, so here we are on Landstar Online. I'm going to do a quick settlement update. I got some new software here to make this a little bit easier than using my phone camera to do this. As you can see, today's the 28th, 2:02 p.m. Eastern, and go ahead and get right into this. Then, as you all know, I kind of look at my stuff. I don't look at it as a weekly thing. I kind of look at it as an overall, as a trip. Sometimes I'm out 2 or 3 weeks, so I like to look at the whole trip. Or if things are kind of split up, I look at it as a monthly thing. So, as you all know, I stayed home. I was home about 10 days the first part of May. I was home about 7 days. Then we had that load that I was going to take from Kentucky out to California, and that canceled. But I already had that short load out of Cleveland that went down to down by Cincinnati. So I ended up taking that down. Then I came back home for another 3 days. So I've been home quite a bit the month of May. So it's been a little slow. But things are picking back up, and with the current loads that I have right now that we just went over on the whiteboard, I think it'll make for a pretty strong ending for the month. So we're gonna do this backwards. I'm gonna start out with yesterday's settlement. Then we're gonna go back 3 weeks basically. So this was that 13 stop cabinet load that we had. And, you see Newton, Kansas to St. Marie, Ontario was the last stop. 13 stops. Line haul was $3,800 right there, 65%. That put us almost at 2,500. They're still giving that pandemic stimulus, $50 for that. And then the stop pay, they gave me $300. You get 65% of the stops. So I got that. So I wanted to clarify that. One of the comments, one of the viewers posted that not everything, not all the accessorals are 100%, and that's correct. And I just wanted to clarify that. Maybe I screwed up and said something in the past that wasn't correct. But there's certain like the if the fuel surcharge is 100%, the stop offs are 65%. If you have to do a driver assist where you're helping unload, you get 100% for those as well. So kind of getting back here, fuel surcharge was at 444. Then with me helping unloading, assist on those, I got $650 across the board there for that. So that brought us with a net after 1099 revenue was $3,800. I picked that up on that Saturday. I believe that was the 14th, because we had that load going out west that canceled. So I grabbed up this load so I wasn't sitting all weekend, and I finished up with that last Thursday. So I was on that 5 or 6 days basically. So total revenue for that was 3,800, 3,828. 83. I had $750 in fuel, so that put me at $3,075. Then we have all. I'm still knocking down the escrow here. We're almost done with that, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. Got a little bit left on the plates here and permits, not too much. So with everything coming out, including my fuel up here, 750, I was at 938, and with left me with $2,888, and that's excluding, like I said, my $1,300 a month truck payment, and also my $135 truck insurance are the only other things that aren't included in that figure. So that was basically last week's. Then here's those other two loads I'm on. I'm on this Upper Sandusky to Twin Falls, Idaho right now. Then tomorrow, after I drop this off, I'll be picking up that Boise, Idaho over to Manassas, Virginia, which is going to be extremely tight. So that's that week. This was this week's. So we're going to go back. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and look at the 20th here real quick. And, okay, so start out, I had some April fuel tax here. So that's something you gotta watch out for. Had $118, almost $119 come out for that right off the bat. And this was May 20th settlement statement here. So we'll come down to the good stuff here. So this was that ice cream, the 5-stop ice cream cone load that I did. From Hermitage, PA, not too far from home, over to Cherokee, Iowa. And it looked really, I mean, it had a really attractive rate. I mean, I think this thing was like at 275 on the mileage on the Landstar board rate. That's, we have to do the math on that, the 65% and all that. But usually 275, that's a pretty attractive rate, because, I mean, that's going to put us close, to $1.90-ish, almost $2. But I was kind of disappointed with this one after it was all said and done. So the line haul on that was almost 2,200 here, 65%. It was at 14 and a quarter. I had a lumper that I had to pay for. They reimbursed me for that, so they put that back in there, $110. Was still doing that $50 stimulus. Then the stop offs, I think those were $60 each. So they don't give you the first one. So there's 4 stops at $60 each, $240, 65%. Was 156, and then the fuel surcharge. So this all basically just a little under $2,000 was the 1099 revenue, and I was on this for 3.5 days, I believe. So had a couple days into it, and after everything came out here, ended up just a little under $1,500. So I mean, with that really high rate, I mean, not extremely high rate, but I mean, pretty decent for that mileage rate. At 275 on the board. I mean, for having over 3 days in this, I mean, we was only at just under $1,500, and this is one of the reasons I don't really particularly like short miles. I mean, because this is only like 1,000 miles. But after everything came out here, excluding my truck payment and my insurance on my truck, it's basically at $1,279, so just a little under $1,300. So I was a little disappointed with that one. That's why I'm more of a long haul guy. I don't particularly care for the short haul stuff, because you see big money, you see higher rates on the mileage, but I know I'm typically disappointed, you know, at the end of the week when I see this. So that was that week. So I'm gonna go back to the week before, and it would be the 13th. And this is as far as we're gonna go back because I didn't really do anything prior to that. So, and this was just that little short load that I took down from Parma to Sabina, where I was supposed to link up down in Kentucky with that other load, but I canceled and I ended up coming back home. So, with this, it was $600 on the line haul, 65%, 390 is what we got, $50 stimulus. So, I paid $440. I already had fuel. I had all my expenses and everything came out after that. It left me with basically $223, $224 there. So, you know, basically paid off all my expenses through Landstar, and you know, I went back home for I think 3 or 4 days. Then we started on that ice cream cone. But I think we've already covered everything the weeks before this. But so I just wanted to go over all that stuff with you guys and kind of show you where we're at. And hopefully the next week here with these 2 loads I'm working on now that are pretty tight, we'll have some pretty decent numbers. I think probably about the daily rates. I think are going to be about twice what I've seen with these shorter loads that we were doing. But that's what we got for now.